if you ask the player, they might have certain feelings about it, but I know at least from if you're really trying to get a tournament moving along at a reasonable time, it helps you understand that you'll have that game likely finished within a certain period of time. And Justin, now we see them doing nigiri, so
Mhm.
they
They
just
did
they
the
just went
nigiri.
ahead and did it. Yep.
I kind of blinked and missed it, but
It's over. So it looks
um,
like Guanyu Song is white, possibly.
Guanyu is taking white.
Yeah.
Um, and we're about to start, so it's really exciting. Um, One other note about the Fisher time change, it's a change this year. Last year was Byoyomi, and we see this trend towards Fisher in the Go community. Oh, they're switching again for some reason.
Okay. There we go.
Fisher is becoming increasingly popular. I think it's already standard in the EU, and Korea has been adopting it as well. I think, what my prediction is that I don't know. I haven't been following the pro scene much, but I'm predicting that Japan will be the last to adopt Fisher time, being the most traditional, I think. But here we go. We are underway. I think there we go.
All
Starting with
right.
the 4-4, a shaky 4-4 start.
And Justin, can you walk us through like why are these I mean, again, more for the beginner perspective, like why are these players starting in the corners? What's the purpose of that?
Well, it's simple geometry, really. The logic being that we're trying to. Oh, they're going real fast. They're trying to
They're banking that
capture
time.
or
They're banking that
create much
time.
territory. That's how you win the
Yeah.
game, is have a control more territory. And the edges of the board, you don't have to surround with your stones. You just have to kind of corral towards an edge. And if you're going towards the corner, you're going to use the fewest amount of stones to do so. If you are basically, if you have like a square, you're going to have two walls versus in the side you need three walls, in the middle you need four walls, so it's a lot more efficient to be in the corner, and that's basically why. These players are playing very fast because they have a lot of experience in set openings, and I think they want to take advantage of their time. On the bottom left here you see this kind of cluster of stones. If you look at If you look at these two stones, see if you can see the markings there. They are captured and on purpose, but they have some potential for extra stuff in the future. Black is kind of saying, you know what, you take those stones, I will take this outside thickness here. If you look, this group um, is a very thick, advantageous group, and white gets to keep some stones here in the corner as territory.
So just to respond to the questions of who's playing here, my understanding is Guanyu Song, the one dan professional, is playing black, I believe.
No, Guanyu is white, or
Oh,
unless they
Guanyu's white.
switched again.
Excuse me. And then Yihao Man is black. So
Right. Oh yeah. So they were swapping to change the position. So Guan Yu is taking white, until I'm further corrected.
so I love some of these chats. Looks like people are feeling like white is not doing well.
It's difficult to judge at this stage in the game. I'm just taking in the board here. A lot of standard moves kind of getting scattered throughout the board. That we might see some action starting in the bottom right. There is kind of an opportunity for a cut, I believe.
And what I would
So
say,
this is a perfect time to. Oh, sorry.
No, please, Justin. Go ahead.
No, this is the perfect time to just take a snapshot of this board if you're a new player and think about, what does it look like in the beginning of a game? This looks like a very typical beginning. And just notice a few things to yourself, like, where are the stones, right? Are they towards the middle more? Are they towards the edges? Where do they seem to be playing? And just kind of note to yourselves those things. And that will already kind of give you a little more of a sense on how to play this game. You notice that they're playing kind of, this is something that I always say is like the beginning has a lot of third and fourth line plays because they're very important lines in Go. And to kind of explain what that means, um, think of the outermost, let's say this, as the first line. And then each line inwards being the next line up. So first and then second, third. And I think of it because the outermost is kind of like the ground for me, and then the top, the pinnacle, the middle is the sky and the heavens, and so that's how I kind of think of it. So whenever we say third, fourth, fifth line, stuff like that, just know that it's relative to the closest edge of the board. Travis, what do you make of this position? Do you
Sure.
think either player has any advantages? Do you see any hot spots here?
Yeah, so I mean, well, all I would say, right, and giving being completely transparent, right, I'm in sort of like the high, sort of low single digit Q range, right? So my ability to read and understand at the level that these players are at is quite different. However, what I would say is when you see moves like this, where you're seeing
Mm-hmm.
one player play right against the other player, that's
Yeah.
generally considered a fairly aggressive move. It's considered a move that's saying, "Hey, I want to sort of start something here," and what it can do, my understanding and talking with my Go teacher, is that can create sort of a lot of concentrated stones all in one area, and it can also open up opportunities for the white player to possibly attack there. So it's interesting that black kind of ignored it and just went and played somewhere else. Justin, what is your reaction?
That was exactly where I was gravitating towards as well. It's
Okay.
always interesting when you see strong players ignore attaches. Is what you call it when you put a stone right next to another stone, especially when they're just singular stones. That's typically something you want to respond to right away. Travis, did you catch where they where Black Tanuki'd off to?
I didn't. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on one second.
But yeah, basically, if you're watching this as a beginner, and taking my advice of like seeing what the patterns are, there will definitely be things that you shouldn't do as a beginner without understanding. But that's okay. You're gonna learn those one by one. Um, but those one of those things that is an example is this here. If you typically as a beginner, if somebody goes and puts their stone right up against yours, you will want to respond with a hane, which is a term used to describe, let's say, this move right here is considered a hane. Black is haneing white with this kind of diagonal wraparound move. That diagonal wraparound move has a very specific term called a hane, and that's typically kind of something like you would want to do. It makes the white stone weaker. You have more liberties on the black stones, and that's just a fundamental thing to do. But both players are indeed ignoring this situation here, um, and building something up on their own. White is trying to make sure this group of stones is safe, and black is reaping the benefits of the influence down below. So we got
I
I
wasn't
think,
able to find where black played away after white did that attachment at D8. Oh, there we go. The counter attachment E5. Thank you, PIWH in the chat. Let's see.
so you could always do that. Play an even more urgent move somewhere else to counter the urgent move that was played against you. Looks like Yihao took I don't know if it was a water break, but something that I really like about these tournaments is you just get up and walk around and do your own thing, just as long as you keep your own time. If you're just joining us, this is Guanyu Song playing as white against Yihao Man, an underdog. Guanyu Song being the favorite to win this whole tournament, being the only official North American pro attending the tournament. So this is an underdog match, so we'll see how it plays out. And we got a nifty little bar here for the viewers at the bottom. You see there's this like middle line, almost like a reverse tug of war, but basically where it reaches that middle line and points kind of wins the game. This is just an estimate, of course. You can't really tell exactly what the points are, but that's a fun little graphic there for you guys.
To go back to just some very basic concepts again for the newer folks that are watching, the end goal here is that you are trying to surround the number of intersections, right? So like unlike chess, obviously they're playing on the intersections. The more that you can surround of sort of these points, you win, right? That's the end goal. So what you'll notice here is that black, as Justin I think showed before, is starting to form something that might look like territory in the top left. This also may start to look like something in the top right for black as well. And then white could have something that might be starting to form here. There's still very early in the game. A lot can happen. And then again, just to keep it really simple, a couple things to keep in mind is that if one opponent or one player has a stone and every single intersection around it is taken by the other player, that stone is captured. So if you
Let's
look down,
demonstrate like this.
yeah, please, exactly,
That would lead the black stone to be captured.
like that.
Whoa.
Exactly. Yeah, so it takes that away. And actually, let's see here. Let's see.
If you're wondering, so I think the first thing you know is what, as Travis mentioned, there's areas of the board where you kind of control, and you might be wondering, well, why doesn't the other player just play a stone in there and just invade that territory and just break it up and fill it up with your own stones? Well, that's a good question, and sometimes they very well do that, but the reason why a lot of territory is solidified and considered that color's territory, the prospect of doing that, if you go in there, you're likely to die. And hopefully we'll see some death in this game. But that's pretty much why territory becomes yours, because it becomes too small for anything else to live in there.
Justin, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Down on the bottom right corner, so down here, you talked about this before. White has these stones on the outside, then there's these two black stones. Why hasn't white captured the black stones? Like, can you give us a sense for somebody, like, why wouldn't they do that now?
That's a great question. White doesn't need to capture those black stones because they can't really escape. Like if you see that black says, "Oh, white's not capturing me," and sticks its head out like this, white will play here, black can play here, and it's kind of futile. This is what you call Atari, which is one liberty left for black, and black can't do anything here. Black can just kind of go down there, and then I actually don't know how to capture stones, but basically those
it should show all those black stones disappearing. Yeah, exactly.
And so you'll see this a lot, right? Oh, and there goes black, and you say, why is black doing this? After Justin said that black is doomed. Black, although is technically captured, can use this move here to build up some potential. There can be some trade-off. It still has its uses. That's something that's very beautiful about Go, is that even if you're captured, you can still use them for something. I remember playing games where things were captured for me, and all of a sudden, it looked hopeless, but all of a sudden they became a key threat for something else. And actually, that move it's advisable to play that move or even earlier. I actually play that move all the time. After the Joseki, which Travis can explain after what Joseki means. But basically, after the Joseki, I always play that move, and I just stick that stone out one, and then let white respond in turn, because it creates Aji.
Right. So Justin, like if black plays here, oh, give me a second. If black plays here, black is saying, "Hey, white, if you really want to kill those stones, you got to play here," and it might allow black to, start to set up something over here and play, in sort of the area, right? So it's sort of a threat to your point that you made. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of implied stuff. Travis, let's reboot. We have some technical rewiring that I think they want us to do. So we'll be back in like
A flash.
a flash. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Yeah, I just did a refresh already. Let me Okay.
All right. We good to go back in?
I see you switched it to just game. I can see. Can you see my cursor, Justin?
Oh yeah, yeah. So, that's what you mean by setup. And I think we're back.
We are back.
That's such a cool transition screen. I don't know if you saw it, Travis.
I saw the screen. Points to Buddha Club, Devin Fraze, Jay, Enrique did a phenomenal job with this. It's great.
We are back. Yes. Sorry for leaving you guys alone with your thoughts for a few seconds.
right.
But yes, wildly cool technology in play here. You guys see is just a simple ghost stream, but there's a lot that goes into this. So where are we in this game? What's going on here?
Let's see. So it
Got
looks
a double
like
Hane.
Yeah, double Hane there, which is I would say slightly advanced concept, at least for me. Right over here, where you see every time I'm wondering should I make a double Hane or not. So right here, this sort of set of stones by white. And Justin, I think you were talking before. It looks like white is starting to pull a little bit ahead here on the bar at the bottom. You'll see that this is sort of leveraging the way that we score these games. There's different systems for doing so, but one of the more straightforward ways of just sort of counting the total number of intersections you have along with your stones, which is called the sort of Chinese system, is showing that white has a few more points here than black. Certainly the game is by no means decided, I would imagine.
Yeah, actually, when I look at this board, my gut instinct is to say black is ahead. I like this entire big black area over here. White also has in turn this kind of area here as a framework. But it feels like there's a little more room for Aji down there. So I think that just shows how I don't understand the game. Oh, that's a spicy move. That black prodding underneath the white stones there. We'll see the intent of that move as the game progresses, whether that's just a straight up invasion or maybe planting some Aji. I certainly don't know.
And again, maybe, to just sort of highlight what that means, right? Aji, or this concept of sort of throwing a stone in there, is sort of a way of saying, like, hey, it might be completely dead, but it also might not. It might come back to life and be used in a way by black for something else that white does not see, or just the game state will change. So we have a question here, Justin. How do you guys feel about the names? Oh, let's see here. Okay, so it looks like everything is showing fine on our side there. Let's see. So anyways, sorry. So to talk back about just sort of the concept of this stone at R9. Yeah, what could black do here, Justin? I mean, black could sort of come out a little bit and cut off white.
I think I certainly wouldn't try this to live under there, but I can imagine it is livable. One thing I noticed that stronger players do that I don't know really how is they just leave stones randomly here and there throughout the board, and they find a way to use them to turn the game. You see these white stones here. They look like they're just kind of in the middle of enemy territory and they have no use. But like I see strong players leave things, and maybe they at this point don't have as much use, but definitely has potential for some Aji here. And I noticed they just kind of leave them there, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna put a stone here. You can do whatever you want with it, and then I'm gonna come, just do other things. And later, I may need you. Like I'm just putting in. It's almost like you're just kind of putting in a little spy, and telling it like, hey, you keep an eye out in enemy territory. I'll come check back on you later. You may be captured, but I don't care. And that's kind of the approach here. I see this kind of stuff a lot, so I don't know the full meaning of this black stone here, whether it is an intent for an invasion or, like I said, just like a little spy to put in enemy territory. But we'll see how Yihao treats this stone, and that will reveal to us what his intent is.
Yeah, and I like these responses here in chat by Texas Drifter Wolf and then by Sisarkan of, I almost wonder, Justin, if it's like this concept of, I was told by Nate Morris, who is called Telegraph Go, who you guys will hear commentate actually in one of the future rounds of this tournament, who's an excellent speaker, really does a great job of breaking down the game, and also a high ranking amateur player. He's used this term zombie go in one of our episodes, and I'm like, what's zombie go? And it sounds like exactly what you're talking about, Justin, where it's like you put those stones, they look completely dead, it looks like nothing can happen, and then in this sort of very coordinated fashion at the end they all start coming alive and really changing things, which sounds very complicated to me, but sounds very cool.
I actually used that term myself a few times.
Do you? Okay.
Not zombie go, but zombie stones.
Oh, zombie stones. Okay.
And I have a vivid memory of a particular game I played with my friend, and in the open, it was a 13x13 game, I think.
Okay.
In the opening, I had lost a very big group of stones in the corner, and I was very sad about it. It was like I was just lost, and I was like, you know what? I have to emotionally move on from this group. And then later on, it wrapped around, and somehow that group had life in it, and it was able to do something. And I was like, whoa, I never expected these stones to have any use. But
amazing.
That's kind of why it's good to, if you feel that you've lost something, just stop touching it, stop poking at the wound, and just leave it alone for a while. And it may have some use later on. Looks like this is a thinker of a move, right? Guanyu has been thinking about this little probe here. Which actually, that's probably what it is. It's a question move.
Right.
That black has played to see, like, hey, if I put a stone here, white, what are you going to do? Are you going to go the outside? Are you going to go block me? Which way are you going to block me? what do you? And looks like wait, actually, never mind.
There you go.
Must
There
have
you
missed
go.
white's
Black's running out. Now white's
hmm
trying to kind of come over
Yeah,
top.
this is. I think this is a full-on invasion then.
Yeah,
Quite
thanks
exciting.
for secretly plays bad helps give us some context here, right? Looks like by black invading here, it's going to make the corner a bit weaker, or getting sort of damaged for, I guess, for white. Yeah, actually, it's interesting, Justin. Like, comes back to something you've mentioned in your episodes of your show, the Starpoint Podcast, which is that sometimes when you know you're caught and you know you're captured and you know those stones are going to die, sometimes you want to play some stones outside of that group and kind of force the opponent to take those, because it might give you a little bit of an advantage or give you some more strength in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been playing. Or I just finished playing Super Mario. Oh, looks like we got
Stones all over the
explosion on the
board.
board, just like secretly plays bad said. I don't think that's what you meant.
No.
But no, these guys, they know exactly where everything is. No problem. They can just kind of.
Put it right
But yeah,
there.
I was gonna say I've been playing Super Mario World, and one of the things you have to do is you gotta, if you're about to die, you get rid of Yoshi, and you just plop him down into the abyss. And sometimes you gotta do that and go. You gotta just cut your losses. Say, hey, thanks for your service. Goodbye. You've been good, and you take care. I'm gonna use your sacrifice to build something greater. But here, black is living. So you can kind of see another advanced concept of eyes. But black has definitely lived in this area here. Now, you might be thinking, yes, black won this. And black was able to take all of white's territory here. Not so fast. You always have some kind of trade-off in Go. And white is able to get this influence here. And this is very valuable in Go. Travis, you want to take a stab at what influence is and why it's valuable?
Yeah, sure. And also just I appreciate some of these comments in the chat here. Living in Gote. So Justin, you were just talking about that group on the right. Living in Gote means you have to play one more stone in your area to stay alive, and that means that the opponent gets the next choice, right? They get the initiative to go somewhere else on the board. And then Paige Edict here, who is a very strong amateur player. Big shout out to Paige, who will also be commentating at a future round. One of the final rounds is great. But getting back to your question, so in this game, there's territory and there's influence. The basic concept is that territory is sort of an area on the board where you were saying, I really want to just get points. I am trying to surround an area. At the end of the game, I need to have enough points to win. And so let's just look on this board here. For example, it's fairly likely that black is going to capture, let's see here, let's say these three intersections. Not assured, but probably more likely that black is going to have those points. When you play for territory, you're going to be sort of bagging these literal kind of small areas of intersections. When you play for influence, what you are doing is you're trying to make a bunch of stones connect together and then sort of produce or sort of emanate from that area a certain amount of strength that makes it really scary, or might make it really dangerous for the other opponent to play near that. And influence, you might disagree with this, Justin, so certainly correct me if I'm wrong, but it does seem like, generally speaking, a lot of times there are styles of play, right? You can play more for influence than for territory, but sometimes you find, or at least in my style, I have more of a calm or sort of less aggressive style in my play. I find that I don't really know what to do with influence. It's sort of something that's hard for me to understand. And whereas territory feels very solid. It feels very like, okay, I'm bagging these points, and so I'm happy with those. I don't know if you have any reactions or thoughts
Yeah,
to that.
here's what I'll say to that. I naturally like influence, even though I also don't know what to do with it. But what I've found is you should not do anything with it and leave it be, and it will
Mhm.
come aid you like an angel sent from heaven eventually.
Yeah.
Um, I loved this. That Paige is freaking out about this. I believe this trade here, commenting that uh, Black has it worse here, right?
Mm, mm.
And I think that, I want to reinforce my instinct of saying like, yes, I would. I don't know why Black would do that, um, but watching these games, obviously these players are much stronger than I. I can't fully commit to my commentary, I feel, and say like, "Oh, that was a bad move," right? Because obviously they're strong; they would beat me with their eyes closed. So what they play, not is going to be better than what I think. So, but then I have a slight kind of gut reaction to like, "Oh, I feel like White is better here," and so kind of someone who is much stronger than I as Page, saying that White has it better here kind of reinforces that a little bit, and that's another way to get stronger too. Is just kind of little reinforcements of little ideas that you may have from stronger players reacting to things. Um,
Oh, this
I
is a
feel like
good.
there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, so
Um,
Guanyu Song playing this move down at Q17, or excuse me,
mhm.
P17. Looks like a pretty in the word Justin, I like that word spicy, a spicy move. Let's see what
Yes.
happens here.
Yeah, that's the natural move. You want to try to cut off stones as much as you can, without endangering your own, of course. We'll see the fate of these stones down here. I want to come back to this double Hane here, what we were talking about. I used to be scared of double Hanes. It leaves an Atari open.
Mm,
Um, and I thought maybe that was not a good idea. My buddy told me, no, always double Hane, just double Hane like crazy.
hmm.
And it's a great move. You shouldn't be too scared of him. Just make sure you read the cuts and the Ataris, that they don't lead to anything crazy, like a big fat capture of these stones here, which, there wouldn't be. Um,
Right. So like you're saying if let's see here. So if
let's say Black
black plays
had
there, right, and then
yeah.
white connects there, and now it's like, okay, how does that look for white? Right? Like does white look
Yeah, well,
really
White
hurt
can
there?
still kind of save. White's not captured here, right?
Right.
White can connect. White can do
Kind
probably
of do
something
this
more
like
efficient than
that or
connect.
back
That would
off.
work too.
Right.
But for argument's sake, let's say that Black had a stone here, and White was considering this double Hane, and said, "Oh, you know what? Justin said always double Hane. I'm going to double Hane here." Well, that's a bit of a problem now because you didn't read what the cuts would do. Um, Black would now play. Let's say that's the Hane. Black can play here. You have to save this stone, and now Black plays here, and you will see that White has no escape if you look and read a little bit. If you're a newer player, and if you're a stronger player, you've already
Right.
read this 1,000 times. You don't have to even think about it.
Right. So white's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to run out. Nope. Boom. Captured. Right. With numbers with move
Exactly.
7 just done. Okay.
Let's see what's going on here. Things are really settling. Not a lot of the areas, they're kind of being very solidified in here. A lot of the Ajis being removed.
Yeah, so Justin, it looks like Black is capturing around or at around 97.5 points, but Guanyu Song is starting to pull away with about 109.4. So I mean, we really care also a little bit about that spread to a degree, right? So almost 12 points ahead of Yihao Man, which is a pretty big difference, especially at this level. So it looks like. So where would you see, Justin? Where do you see Guanyu Song is really starting to formulate territory? Would it be like down
Well,
in
yeah,
this region
that's definitely
here?
becoming a lot more solid
And then
for
there's sort
sure.
of a whole lot of influence right here on this
Mhm.
side. This is firmly White's territory.
But if I didn't have that information on me, I would still not say one is that much farther ahead than the other.
It's so hard to tell. Yeah,
Mhm.
for the uninitiated.
That black
Yeah.
left side looks really big still, although you can see probably maybe there's that Aji magic there with those couple of stones that could reduce it as
Mhm.
considerable amount or provide some value in another way. You see this double Hane has been resolved now. No more Atari here available for black to use. Now black is putting some pressure on this top group um, with this Kosumi, which is a diagonal move term.
And Justin, is it fair to say that this move right here by black is what you would call like a double sente move? So it's like it's a place that white could have played, and black would have to respond, and it's also a play where black played and white has to respond, right? So does that carry?
I don't know if white played that move. I don't think black would have to respond.
Hmm.
White
Hmm.
could crawl a little and maybe take a little territory, but it's
Hmm.
like for black, I mean, there's no life or death situation here, and
Yeah.
for
White needs to
white,
respond, but not black. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah,
I see.
and then black just took kind of a solid amount of points for himself here by doing that. So here's kind of the rundown. Black has a good amount of territory on the left side. Could be reduced maybe because there's some Aji kind of towards the middle. White has this huge area on the bottom side. I'm curious to see if there's any kind of invasion possibility here, but that's also a large amount of territory. I would maybe equate it with the left side. Could be wrong. Probably I'm wrong. Yeah, and then this is probably a great reduction sequence going on here with this Atari, and then you have this helper stone that's just been hanging out there for a while, just doing nothing, and you can kind of see it starting to work its magic because it's definitely starting to help here with this Atari being played.
Yeah, and I do just want to kind of chime in and say that I think something that's really exciting when you think about this sort of California State Go Championship tournament, excuse me, and you think about Guanyu Song, who's very much a younger player. He's already a one-dan professional, and then you think about folks like Alexander Chi, who, for those who don't know, he's now, I believe, he's been promoted to 3-dan professional after a very serious win in the World Youth Go Championship back in August in Kuala Lumpur. And he really made headlines because he was the first winner from a non-Asian country to win the youth championship. And that's a big deal, right? Like, yes, it's only youth.
That's a
It's
huge deal.
generally under 18, but we've seen some of the best players in the world win that tournament and go on to do amazing things. So definitely something to say that, hey, maybe the U.S. is on the rise here and on the world stage and starting to really make big improvements, which is exciting. Justin, what's your feeling? Because I feel like you've been in the world a little bit longer, in the Go world in the West. Do you feel like things are in sort of a positive upswing?
It is a very big watershed moment for the West that someone from the West, Alex Chi, has won such a huge tournament. That's just not heard of. The East is just superior, flat out. You can't even compare it. Our strongest pros would not really rank over there in the East. I mean, we go toe to toe with some of their professionals, but definitely not at the highest levels. And that is definitely a big sign that maybe something's changing. I also want to comment here about something that's very interesting that's going on.
What are you seeing?
If I'm seeing this correctly, this is kind of a very brilliant kind of plan executed by Guanyu. You see that black, maybe Page was right here, making a mistake with this invasion on the right hand side, allowed white to gain this big area of influence where now white is saying, you know what, thanks for the influence. Now I'm going to use that to simultaneously reduce your territory in the middle here by doing this Atari and kind of using this stone that I had. And we're simultaneously reducing black's territory, this giant thing that we thought was so great, while building up this area here with the influence that black has just given us. And you see that white is playing into that theme with little moves such as these to try to build as much influence towards the center as possible. And you can see kind of the fruits of white's labor here coming into fruition. I want to see if black has any answer to this situation.
So, Justin, to your point, I mean, all these points here, bear with me. So, all these points here are sort of slowly but surely becoming whites, right? As he was sort of pressing in on black, this has all become white's territory. So it's quite a significant area, and it's really extending Guanyu Song's lead quite a bit now. So we're at almost 15 points, 16 points.
Yeah, and that's also one of the greatest principles in Go to follow is to do things with more than one purpose. And that's just a dream come true for white to be able to build into the territory of into the influence and gain some territory out of that, while also reducing black. Is just kind of, there's no better situation to be in for white. You honestly, you don't see that very often where it just works out so well that way. So I'm very curious to see how black responds to all this, because white is definitely taking a good chunk of the middle here.
It looks like they both still have a decent amount of time, right? It looks like 30 minutes and about 33 minutes.
Yeah, they haven't hit their Fisher bonus. Or actually, they get their Fisher bonus every time, right?
Yeah, I mean, every time they play, they get another 15 seconds. So it looks like they still have plenty of time to think. I'm curious, as each of these players are at a level where they're counting to some degree, right? And they're understanding exactly where they are, what Yihao Man is thinking in terms of, I think to your point, Justin, like, is this bottom area something that he needs to decide to attack? Is that even possible? Is that something where he can sort of leverage the stones down here and say, okay, I'm going to play, move, like we said, here, and then try to, set something. Is there anything over on this side? Very curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you see?
Yeah. It seems tough. I don't know if anything's possible down there. White looks like he's kind of bullying black a little here with these poking and prodding into the territory. I once saw as this great black area is now being whittled away. And I saw Yihao put his hands in his head, in his hair just a few moments ago. I don't know. Sometimes it's frustration, or sometimes it's just, I just wanted to relax a bit. You can never really tell. But to your point about counting during the game, I find being poker faced to be very valuable as a player. I don't know. It just comes natural to me to try not to give anything away to the opponent. But I was once playing in a tournament, and near the end of the game, when I was like, I'm not sure how well I did or how well he did, but then I heard him kind of counting in his head, going like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just kind of like, I could very much tell he was counting the points, and that told me something, which was, oh, it's close. It's at least close. And he was a stronger player than I, and I was playing with Candy Cap. We got the nice the hair shot. Usually sometimes in the Korean streams or just in any Asian Project TV streams, you see the headshot when they're starting to think a lot.
Leaned over, really trying to analyze, calculate the moves. Yeah.
We see this nice overhead shot of it. That's not what they see. They see it at an angle. So sometimes to get a better view of it, especially if you're an online player, you want that squared orthogonal view. So black has been thinking about how to protect their territory here.
And I can't help but bring up this point as you're sort of about to touch on this, which is that if you notice, for those that are new and haven't seen the board before, notice how the board is actually longer in this direction than it is wide. And exactly to Justin's point, this is because it's supposed to offset the fact that you're sitting at an angle over the board. And so that length is supposed to adjust for the depth perception discrepancy. So I felt like I had to throw that
Yeah,
in.
no, I mean, it's basic Go education.
Yeah.
You know what would be interesting if you've ever seen those optical illusions where things look upright
Yes.
when they're not.
Yes.
Imagine they did that, except even to the extreme with this Go board and just made it warped. And so when you're
Yes.
sitting down, it looks like a perfect square.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
think that would be an interesting art project.
Yes. One Eye Dragon says in China the square is a square and it's so weird.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
honestly,
great.
you would start inventing this game with squares, and then
Yeah.
it would say that way maybe in China. When they moved to Japan, Japan was like, you know what? They're a little weird when I sit down. I'm gonna change it.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's crazy. I didn't know that the squares are square in China.
Interesting.
Imagine saying that out of context and just allowing someone to figure out what you're saying. It's like the squares are square in China.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Oh man, look at this. This is full
So it
on
looks like
white.
there's been a huge, there's been a somewhat significant continuation of Guanyu Song's sort of increase in territory compared to Yihao Man. Looks like now there's about a point difference of almost, let's call it 18 points at this stage. Let's see what happens. Gosh, it's like
you saw Yihao shake his head just now. Yeah.
Did he? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed it. I like Trivoke's comment.
Yeah, I just highlighted that comment.
Very, very timely. It's like you don't know until you know.
Yeah, the strong players will do the strangest things in the beginning, and you'll see. You'll be like, I don't know what they're doing, and then somehow the image gets clearer. It's like when you're watching an artist draw or paint, and they're putting these strange colors and strange lines on the canvas, and you're like, what's that supposed to be? And suddenly you're like, whoa, that's an eagle. What the heck?
Yeah, it really is. That's a good point, Justin. It's like you're making a picture pixel by pixel, right? And the order might be completely confusing. It's like, what is this? This makes no sense. And then little by little it comes into view. And then you feel like, oh my gosh, it's too late.
Mm-hmm. If you're just joining us, I want to give maybe a quick recap of what I kind of understood of the game. You saw kind of in a very fast opening play, and you saw black have this entire left-hand side. You saw white kind of have an inkling of the bottom side here. And then I think the key turning point was when black decided to make this invasion on the right side here. This little Panuki shape, and decided to live there, giving white the outside influence. White fully took advantage of that, leaning into black's territory here with these white stones trickling down, reducing a lot of it, and also building a lot of influence towards the middle. And you see white taking this giant middle here. And that's kind of the basic picture of what I saw happen in the game. And Travis, has anything have there been moments through this game that surprised you?
To be honest, I wasn't able to perceive sort of a big swing at a particular moment. I think it would be it's sort of challenging at my level, honestly, to see that. But what is amazing for me is to just see sort of like the level of sort of general we use the term moyo, right? But the sort of very, very large swaths of points and territory for one player forming for Guanyu Song in sort of the middle. And it's sort of like, how did this happen, right? Like I didn't even see it sort of slowly taking shape. So I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Oh, and just reinforcing this even further for white to take the center.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
I don't know if black is
Jeez.
hatching a plan. Sometimes you see a player make moves in different areas of the board while their whole brain is working on a solution for one other area of the board. So I don't know if black has something in mind to try to reduce this this white middle, or has any kind of solution brewing in his brain.
Here's a question for you. When you've played live tournaments, Justin, is eye contact and where your opponent's looking, is that a really key factor? Is that something you're paying attention to necessarily?
I probably pay more attention to that than most. I remember playing one game where I was trying to figure out a life and death situation in one of the corners, and I was trying not to stare at it too much to give any hints. And I was just taking quick glances and reading in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people are usually so caught up in their own thoughts, they're not really paying attention to the other person. But it is something on my mind. And I definitely notice it. If somebody's staring at one area of the board, I look at it. Usually, sometimes I go like, "Oh, there's nothing there. I don't have to. You can waste your time with that." You know. But yeah, it's an interesting aspect of live games. I feel like these players, though,
I love it.
I feel like that's maybe a Q level thing, because you know, Q play is more like, oh, maybe you'll miss it. Maybe you'll miss that. Maybe you don't see what I'm seeing. But I think at a higher level, you kind of understand a lot of what's going on. And you have a mutual understanding. It's like, oh, yeah, you know this. I know this. We both know this.
Right. I mean, to me, this is all like the game of like you're hiding in plain sight, right? It's like I'm trying to do something that is not obvious, or I'm going to attack this group, and the next thing you know, I'm switching, right, and I'm going somewhere else. And it's funny. I've only really been on the sort of online side of things, so I'm very inexperienced on the playing in real life, but I could see how that would matter a lot. Yeah, exactly. The Q to the 36 stratagems of Go here.
I look forward to when you talk about the Go Congress on All Things Go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's something I would very much look forward to doing. And I know Trevor Morris has got a great team getting everything ready to go. So I look forward to the opportunity to talk with Trevor Morris's team and learn more about it.
Yihao Man took a brief smoke break. I'm just kidding.
Really?
He stepped away from
Okay.
from the board. That's something that the old school Asian players do. Lee Sedol famously in his AlphaGo match took smoke breaks during the match to cool his head.
Well, it looks like Guanyu Song is holding steady here at around a 15 to 18 point lead. I do have to wonder whether there's going to be sort of a bold, aggressive play here by Yihao Man.
I thought I saw Yihao nod. That's something that I think you do while you play the game to kind of acknowledge certain things. There's actually, I think in the fighting game community, they call it like I don't know what it's called, like the fighting game nod or something. As soon as they die, they nod. Like this is just a habit to just kind of get back in the game. It's like, all right, yeah, all right, I got it. Something like that.
That's to mean like they're done, like they're resigned, like they're
no, not at all. Not in the fighting game community, at least. But
okay.
Just kind of like it just happens when you die. You just nod and like, okay, just kind of like psych yourself back up and just emergent. Okay, something happening a little bit. Cuts are always interesting. They always indicate a little bit of aggression at the very least.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't think Black has given up just yet.
Yeah. I
Sometimes when you're
definitely.
in the lead,
I'm sorry. Go
it
ahead.
can be a little nerve wracking. You're kind of tense and you're just trying to defend in the entire game. It could be very it can be harder sometimes. You know, when you have nothing to lose, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna just poke at this and you know, go for the kill. And when you're in the lead, you're like, I have to not make any mistakes.
Yeah, the stress from that can be very intense. I definitely can understand that. You're like, I don't want to blow it. Please don't blow it.
Oh, Buzzsaw said my two favorite podcasters are here. That's very sweet.
It's very nice of our good friend to the Go community, Terry. Thank you for that, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
We're also among the only podcasters, not the only, but almost only. So, but we'll take it. We will take
Well,
it.
only podcasters in Go. She did say my two favorite podcasters, not Go podcasters. So
That's
that's pretty
fair.
pretty
That's
good.
fair.
Um,
That's very much appreciated. All right, so let's see. It looks like Guanyu Song is continuing to hold his lead. Oh yeah, that is very nice. That's appreciated, Buzzsaw. Thank you. And Justin, when you think about folks that again are new to this game and they might be peeking in on this game and seeing everything, like where do you think is like the best way to get started with playing Go? Is it going to a local club? I know you're involved at times. Is it playing online? Like what would you say?
if you're just starting out, you want to get into grips with the game, it's very much recommended to have one player with some amount of experience with you as a friend, as a teacher. And you can have that as like, I see a lot of Reddit posts of a couple of newbies getting to start with the game, and that doesn't always work out well. Based on the photos you see of the boards, they clearly don't understand how the game
Right.
works.
Yes.
It's great to have just one person who knows something to help you through that. And whether that's by going to a club, you find that's a great way to do it. Some people are a little shy to go out and meet new people, but there are a lot of, basically I don't know, I think any given Go player you chat up on OGS or in Reddit will be more than happy to get you started. And if you just propose somewhere like, hey, is there someone who can teach me how to play? You'll get so many people just ready to jump on and tell you. So don't be afraid of that. And that's really the best way. You can try to use the tutorials and YouTube, and it'll be a little slower, I think. And it won't be as smooth of an experience. So I highly recommend trying to find somebody who can teach you the basics. But there are a lot of resources out there. I mean, you can obviously figure it out yourself as well. But make sure you just like do some research and try to learn rather than just scratch at the empty board and try to figure it out that way.
That's well said. No, I appreciate that. And actually, I think I see here in the chat, I do think I see one of our lovely hosts from Dan and the Q, or Don and the Q. So that's awesome to see.
Top at ease.
I look forward to the next episode. Here. Yeah. But no, I think it's really well said about how to get into the game. And Telegraph Go, I think, said it really well, which is he's like, you need the online component maybe to kind of keep checking it out, understanding what it's about, trying to play it. But then once you do that, really find that opportunity to play a person, to play in real life. It just enriches and kind of makes the enjoyment so much greater, in my personal opinion. For me, it was also that I needed something that really captured some sort of side of like the mystique of the game. So for me, that was AlphaGo, and just like, wow, like this is so cool. The fact that like this game is like this enigma, but like AI helped, sort of do this. And it was something that was really helpful for me to come back to.
Have you heard of Shinjin Sa being geared up to challenge AlphaGo of 2016
Yes.
that beat Lisa Doll?
I did hear
That is
about
exciting.
this.
I would love. I mean, I didn't even think I wanted that, but I do.
Can you give us context? So who's Shinjin So for, again, the
Jinso is
newbie?
currently the world, basically the strongest player in the world right now, the Magnus Carlsen of Go,
There you go.
and he has a nickname, Shingongjinung, which is a portmanteau of his name Shinjinso and the word for AI in Korean, which is Ingongjinung, and it kind of rhymes, so Shingongjinung.
Hmm.
And because he has a very AI style, he uses a lot of AI to study, and he's kind of like the first wave of this AI generation of pro players. And Lee Sedol famously lost and also won one game against AlphaGo back like almost 10 years ago. And Shinjin Saw is slated to play that AI to see if that exact strength AI, because it's not publicly available. We weren't able to just try it ourselves after Lisa Doll lost, but that will be a very interesting match. It's almost like Shinjin Saw is playing the ghost of Lisa Doll. You don't get to see Shinjin Saw play against Lisa Doll in his prime, but you get to see Shinjin Saw play against something that beat Lisa Doll in his prime, which is a very interesting and new concept.
What do you think? Do you give the best player in the world? Do you think you give him a decent chance? Didn't they say
I
that the
do.
top? What did they say? Like 3 stones, right? Is sort of the handicap currently agreed upon, or maybe it's
I don't know.
more.
Wait, is he playing with handicap?
I don't know. So let's see here. Secretly
I thought
plays
it would be an even
bad.
match.
Just says to add more context, Shinjin So has had 10 years with AI, so the playing fields are kind of even. Interesting.
Secretly plays bad.
It'll
Also,
be
is
it'll be
it will
even.
be even.
Okay, so it's an even match.
I
Interesting.
definitely have. I favor Jinso in this for sure.
Wow.
The fact that Lisadol won one match without any AI training. Lisadol had no idea what AI was back then. Did not know any AI Joseki. Did not know anything like that, and he won against AlphaGo. And so Shinjin Saw, with this amazing library of current AI knowledge that has advanced since then, I think he has the edge. I
Interesting.
expect him to win.
Very interesting. Very
Now,
exciting.
I don't know if it's the format's the same, the 5-game format. Will he go 5 out of 5? I don't know. That's a harder question. Secretly plays bad, says he predicts, or he or she predicts. I predict Shinjin Saw in 3-2.
Yeah. I do know that when Lisa Dole won, it was Alpha Go. It was not Alpha Zero, right? Which was significantly
That was
stronger.
after,
And I do imagine now the AIs are even many times stronger. But hey, I mean, I would love to root for Shinjin So, for the human to win some.
Yeah, it would be amazing if in the future there's some moment where humans overtake AI. It sounds
That would
unthinkable
be.
now, but
I wonder if that's ever possible. Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Yeah, so it
yeah.
looks
Well,
like
we did kind of like it's like a different strategy almost to defeat an AI, because AI has different flaws than what a human would have, and so to be able to exploit those flaws it's a different skill. So I see that Black's been here and bringing us back into the game. That Yihao has been trying to do a few things to try to reduce White's giant center here, but I don't see anything really coming into fruition.
yeah. Seems like Guanyu Song is extending his lead now at about 20 points.
Yeah, that middle area is just such a clean, wide pasture for White. And if I were Black, I'd be regretting that invasion on the right pretty hard right now.
Interesting.
As it really did lead to this snowballing effect. Would have been interesting to see what White would have done without that invasion, or if Black tried to go for the influence on that side instead. But maybe that would just lead to the right side being all White, and that would be too much. So
Yeah, so now is it fair to say, Justin, that we're entering sort of there are these different phases of the game, and it sounds like for quite a while we've been in what we call end game. And maybe can you give us like a little highlight of like what is end game all about? What are the players trying to think about?
Endgame is like I would say it's like a ticky tack stage of the game where you're trying to optimize the few points that you can get everywhere on the board. Right? In the beginning, you're trying to lay out a plan, you're trying to make sure the environment is good for yourself. In the middle, you're trying to win fights, you're trying to arm wrestle your opponent. And at the end, when things are more settled, you're trying to just edge out a few more points here and there and taking bigger moves, whether that's a few points to maybe a dozen at the maybe high end of the scale. If this is endgame, though, that's not good for black.
Yeah, that's agreed.
And I have yet to really fully sharpen my endgame skills to the point where you can swing the game 20, 30 points. But people can do that.
Yeah, that's amazing. It definitely seems like in the game of Go, I have not yet found somebody that says that the middle game is not the most important part of the game. Just the ability to handle all the chaos and complexity of the middle part of the game if you're strong there. But certainly there are these examples in the history of the game, like these players, Lee Chung-ho, and these sorts of things where just their ability to calculate and just get every little point they can at the end has just, been incredible.
Yeah. And what they say is that the strongest of players are always excellent at endgame. And one of the strongest players of all time, Lee Chang-ho, was a master of the endgame. And basically, just like superhuman ability to play the perfect endgame.
Yeah, just an incredible ability. Let's see here.
Yeah, this is a big, wide valley of white. I'm looking forward to the post-game interview, which Enrique, the San Diego Go Club president, will be conducting after the game with the players to see what their perspective on the game was after it closes out. See if it aligns with what we've been seeing. I've noticed. Oh, go ahead.
No. I just want to say, yeah, I'm wondering what is going through Yihao Man's head in terms of like, is he thinking like, is this it? Am I going to keep trying? That's all.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. I feel like you can kind of tempt yourself to try something, even though you think nothing's there. And the better option is usually to just keep playing the good moves rather than trying something that doesn't work. But when you're so behind, it's so tempting to just be like, there's no way I can win if I just play the good moves. But it looks like Yihao Man hasn't tried anything crazy to try to come back. Unless it's still brewing, but that's usually what you have to do, is just kind of play normally, and then your opponent might make a mistake or something might change that allows you to come back rather than forcing it to happen without anything being there. But I would probably just try to force something to happen and then probably lose because of it. Or at my level, something might actually happen. So,
Justin, do you think there is anything at this level of play? It's the California State Championship. Do you think there's anything going on where you see this dynamic of it's better to sort of fail conventionally than to fail unconventionally? Meaning, is it better for the person that's behind to just sort of go down quietly and not risk any sort of like sense of like social pressure or fear there, or to just sort of go for it and say like, who cares?
I actually haven't really heard that sentiment. But I think that I mean there's levels of it, right? Like you can go for it, who cares? And that's just a wild idea. Everyone's kind of scratching their heads like, what did you think was gonna happen? Versus go for it, who cares? Like that doesn't seem like it works, but I guess it's worth a shot kind of thing.
Right.
Uh, I think the pro scene now like is especially in the Korean influence sphere, more on the go for it, who cares, right? You just have to win at all costs, do
Right.
anything you can to win. Whereas the previous kind of older Japanese tradition of playing beautiful moves, maybe doesn't always work either. But I'm always a go for it, who cares person. Like I love
Caution to the wind.
you know, I hate when things are so defined on a go board. I love it when it's just kind of formless, and that's why I don't like these types of games. Early on, you saw just them taking out their areas of the board, and it wasn't really like a lot of mess in the beginning.
Yeah, so would you call this generally a calmer game?
Yeah, honestly, there's not a whole lot of tension. The tension exists from like the big decisions of influence and territory that you see, and I haven't seen like any crazy fight on this game. Yeah, it's all just been exchanges and trades, and just like you take influence, I take territory.
Right.
You know, I reduce you.
Right. So again, for newcomers, you can start to see here again, on top of where white has surrounded intersections and territory, like these black stones look most likely captured by white, right? And then you're seeing like, okay, great, white is surrounding more territory here. White has what they call sort of a bamboo joint, right? So there's no way that black can break this to come over here. And then it looks like white can have no trouble making two different eyes in the top area here as well to live. So this is a big part, right, of like analyzing the board, especially as a newer player, but at any level, just to understand like what's happening.
Yeah, and just to give some perspective, this area earlier on in the game, it looked like all blacks.
Right.
This looked like
Exactly.
blacks, and that's
right.
why I was favoring black for a while, but things change all the time. Stones are changing their values, and now this whole thing is white, and don't know if black has any choices here to get back up. If black can live in this area here, I don't think it can. And also, it's like I would, as a player, be like, can I kill this? Right? Because if you can kill that, then you can maybe win. But doesn't really look doable. And as Bird Zarin Triel says, to be honest, this feels resignable, and I think I agree here. Sometimes, even though it's resignable, there are a couple of reasons why you might not resign. One is that there's always something that can change. Another is, you want to play the game. You want to play the rest of the game. You want to learn as much as you can from it. You want to see how your opponent plays the end game. All those reasons are valid for not wanting to resign.
It looks like Yihao Man has definitely started to work down quite a bit more of his time, but he has about 13 minutes left versus Guanyu Song having 25 minutes. So we're starting to see that he's definitely trying to, like you said, Justin, sort of take advantage of just trying to learn from this as much as he can, hopefully.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, you haven't heard our kind of introductions of these players. Guanyu Song is the favorite to win the entire tournament. Yihao Man is an underdog in this matchup, so it is, kind of a student-teacher vibe here. And so as someone who, if I were Yihao Man, I would definitely take this opportunity to try to learn as much as possible from one of the strongest players in North America. But yes, I think it was quite a masterful punishment from White, to say, "Hey, Black, you invaded in the wrong place. Now you lost the game." I think it's because Yihao Man has not eaten his Ferrero Rocher that he maybe miscalculated here.
That's the reason. It's a critical reason.
Yeah.
There it is. You lose 100% of the games you resign. I like that.
Yes, it's like the opposite of you miss 100% of the shots you don't, or it's not the opposite, but the same thing.
There you go.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely. And we would tell everyone after the game, like Justin mentioned, there's gonna be a nice little interview with the winner, and then we'll certainly get into round 2. So you should absolutely stick around, see what else is coming up. There'll be a lot more good play here to see and more things to learn.
So we got Dolt for the Waffles suggesting an exploration route for Black. E18. Yes. So E18. So you would want to do this as White to I18. I18? 118?
There is no I, so that's confusing.
There's no I.
Maybe it's L18. Let's go L18. Like that. If we could see the board.
L18.
Yep, I got you. And then that would force White to play there, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if something happened there, that would be amazing.
Not sure if that would work. Like, is it completely naive to say to try that? I mean, it feels like there's a little bit of space there, and you have some Aji, right? You have some. I think they're sent.
It's not naive for me. I would have done it by now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. It's meanwhile it looks like the lead is bubbled out to about.
But it does show some confidence. Like Guanyu has not played another move there, whereas at this point I think that you could maybe afford to make another move there if there was some possibility of an invasion. But that does show some confidence on Guanyu's part to say that nothing can happen.
Okay, so we think. All right, got it. So you're thinking maybe it's some confidence. I would love to see a 22-point reversal. Right now.
That'd be great.
It'd be fun.
Not for Guanyu, but it would be great.
Not for Guanyu Song.
For the entertainment value.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Yihao Man's not just going routine here, because using so much of his time, I think a lot of that brain power is going to finding possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Guanyu Song has pretty much decided, okay, pretty much all of this is settled, and doesn't need as much time to think through things, and just playing defense, make sure everything's validated and correct. But things are looking quite settled at this point. Not much in the realm of other possibilities here for either player, really.
And just as a reminder, round 2, there'll be a lunch after this for the players, and then Mirth Turtle is going to be your commentator for round 2, which should start somewhere around 1 o'clock Pacific time for wherever you are watching it.
Oh, is that the resignation stone, or is that
it?
He tossed it on the table, so maybe not.
No, I think he's been doing that
Okay.
for a bit this game, and the timer's still counting. So it looks like we haven't ended. And again, a big shout out to Devin Fraze with Buddha Club, really setting up all of this, working tirelessly, and then Jay has done a phenomenal job building out all of this. Enrique, just all the work. I mean, all the stuff he's been doing. I mean, late last night, he was working on things. This morning, he was working on things, getting everything set up. So,
definitely get a sense of everyone working very hard to get things running smoothly.
Yes. Yeah, the interface is also really impressive.
If you're a kind of a newer at this game and you want to use this game as some practice, you can maybe practice reading what happens when white plays this Atari here, and what would black do to respond to that. Um, I think Ataris are always good reading practice. If you look at a game, and I think that pretty much any player will have all the Ataris read out and like what would happen, right? Because Ataris are like the big forcing moves. So there's that Atari, there's this Atari here for white, and that's also a good practice thing too. Like just like where are all the Ataris? It's kind of like in chess where you're making sure you see all the checks.
Yeah,
And of course, this is a capture and an Atari in one.
You'd feel like that would be pretty valuable.
Yeah, but
white already
as
has
I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, white already has it, right?
Yeah, white already has it.
So only if
or you could also do the reverse. Like if you see a group of stones that look kind of dead, can you do something to escape? That's black's group. What happens when black plays there?
So, but if if black pushes through here, now is again, right? Is white going to respond like that? Are they going to come back, kind of do something like this? Yeah, interesting.
Yep, very routine moves here exchanged by the players. Black does have this juicy corner here, but it's kind of pressed low. You see that the amount of points, it only goes up to 2 lines, and down here, like at times 1 line.
I'm also trying to see if I can gather any information from how Yihao Man and Guanyu Song have been sitting there. I feel like Guanyu Song has just been very, very still, not moved much, hands together, kind of just kneeling, focusing. I feel like Yihao Man's been not moving much either, but
he's been fidgeting a little more.
Right, exactly. A little bit of the fidgeting, which I know some of us just have to do, kind of get the energy out. It's a big game.
Especially when you're a little younger, too. I think you got a little more bodily energy.
I understand that fully with the young children. So,
yeah, I also love noticing sitting postures and stuff. Which I think Chejong has a very particular back straight and just kind
interesting.
of still posture. My grandma told me that to get your brain working, you should sit with your back straight and your head kind of tilted forward a little bit, and maybe that's something that her grandma told her as well, or something.
I like it. Keep the spine in alignment, the energy flowing. Yeah.
So this is a clamp move that was played, and now some routine blocking here.
So things are coming to a close here, it seems.
Well into the end game now. I was hoping for Yihao to try something in that big swath down below. Don't think so. You could be surprised near the end of the game, just bam. But
yeah, I'm just like, why not try it, right? Like, just try
feeling less likely. That's less likely.
Just go for it. I don't know. Just under 7 minutes left for Yihao Man. Guanyu Song's holding plenty of time. And I noticed that Yihao Man takes a stone after he's played one, and he kind of either holds it in his hand to kind of play with it or keeps it on the table.
So that's that's an interesting habit.
Do you subscribe to this whole keep something in your hand to keep you from playing an impulsive move?
Yeah, I learned that tip from Simple Baduk,
That's right, Simple
and
Baduk. Yep.
I tried it during an online game, and it was great. I think I'm gonna always do that from now on for an online game.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much sure about in-person game. I don't think I would like to use a stone for that purpose. Uh, I think my rule of thumb is like don't put your hand in the bowl until you know what you're gonna play.
In principle, I like that concept. Like that's how I would want to
Yeah, I
do
know what you mean.
it. In practice, I don't know if I actually do it or would do it. And now we
What I
see
don't
that.
like doing is the double hover where I go in for the kill and then I go wait and just hover my hand over the board. Shows a lack of confidence.
Oh, nice! I like this. Adult for the waffles
That's
says that
the black push is the one you were
the
exploring
worry
earlier.
stone. I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
So yeah, each player is now just kind of surrounding their borders,
Worry
right? They're
stone.
just kind of sealing off every area that's theirs. The game is seems pretty well determined for quite some time now. Maybe I don't know, but you never know. Things can happen.
Yeah, it's better to use the stone than the Ferrero Rocher. Still waiting for him to eat that thing.
I definitely want one right now.
I see that there are 2 peppermints on the board on the table. I think they give them to each player, maybe? I wonder if Guanyu also has a Ferrero Rocher hidden somewhere.
And who knows? That might be sometimes those little things just boost the experience for the players. So well, there's the stone again. So yeah, I noticed
Mhm.
Yihao Man puts the stone on the table.
Yeah. Gets it ready.
Is that like a thing? Have you seen that done at tournaments or no?
No,
Not
I've never
necessarily.
seen anyone do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Um, but it reminds me of kind of like a Canadian Byoyomi where they have prepared stones, like 15 or so for the time. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that. I don't think I wanna ever try that, but
Hmm. All right. So yeah, it looks like
exploring game.
Jay is telling us that he actually often puts a stone on the table, or maybe we'll grab a bunch. Interesting.
Hmm. But I like the satisfying rattle every time I go into the board into the bowl.
There's definitely something about the physicality of just like you said, having the stones in the bowl and
Mhm.
putting the stones out, feeling the sound of the stone as it hits the board. It's nice. There's just a tactile
Yeah.
enjoyment to it. By the way,
Oh,
can we talk
what was
about the
that?
fact? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go no, go
No,
for
I
it.
was gonna say, can we talk about the fact that like I don't know how if I through some another life were a Asian professional, there are these rules around like how quickly you can pick up the stones if you've captured them. And I feel like I would be completely rattled if I was short on time and I had to pick these
Ah.
things up. Like, there's no way. There's just no way I would get it done in time.
Yeah, I think that, they probably have a lot of practice from counting on the board because you have to pick
Hmm.
up all the stones and rearrange them.
Hmm.
And then there's this thing you can, like, kinda pinch 2 of the stones together to pick up 2 without disturbing anything else. But it is a skill of
Oh,
dexterity.
right. Yeah, just make sure you're always
And
capturing three or
I
more
think there's
stones.
also a rule stipulation of, like, a certain number of stones allows for a little bit of a pause
Yeah, I
too.
think that's what Secretly Plays Bad here is referring to. I think it's like if it's more than if it's three
Oh,
or
more
more
than 3.
stones, you can stop. I think you have to take two, stop the clock,
Mhm.
then you can take the rest, then you start the clock. I could have that wrong, but I think that's the gist. The problem is like I would just have such a hard time with that. Yeah, you would have to really do some muscle memory drilling to get that in your
Mhm.
head.
It's just a part of, living in a physical reality. You have to deal with it.
Hmm. Now I'm not one to
Cool.
go for newcomers to drama. negative drama in a game, because that's not good. But sometimes any attention can be good attention. So for anybody that's new, if you want to look up, I think it was the LG Cup from last year. If you just Google search LG Cup, you could find some really interesting fireworks and some drama around different rule sets and what happened. And it did go to a not positive place, which is not good, but it also was interesting because it makes you think about like what actually matters, right? Like rules are important. You need to follow the rules, but yeah.
On a lighter note, there are plenty of videos out there of people struggling to pick up stones and capture stones. I mean, it wasn't light for the player at the time, but
no,
those kinds of losses they happen in the pro world even. So you have to always be vigilant with your mental. Lidgate, yes, has a top
Lidgate.
Lidgate.
Yes.
Should you put your stones in the lid after capturing or not?
Lidgate. Yeah. And I hate to say this, but for those of us that are maybe Gen Zers or just are not familiar, the whole gate term comes from Watergate, right? Like when President Nixon did his not so.
They still teach that in high school, right?
Do they? I don't know. I mean, it's amazing the things that I ask. I'm clearly labeling myself not a Gen Zer, but yeah, Lidgate.
Yeah. Yeah, looking pretty settled here. I mean, it's been this way, and the picture's just been getting clearer and clearer by the move for the past 20, I don't know how many moves. And this is the picture that was drawn a while ago, and it's just been kind of continued to be defined this way. Black hasn't tried any kind of crazy flying knife moves or anything.
And again, I mean, like, yeah, any chance to do that down here was, I mean, is gone. I mean, again, who am I to say? But yeah, it just looks like
I would, as white personally, I would be very scared of the cuts over there, right here and here. I mean, I'm not comfortable with that. But actually, I guess once I read a little more, it's not that scary. You just kind of use a ladder. Let's explain for newcomers what a ladder is.
Yes, that's a very important concept.
Just watch this, right? You see Atari. This is a ladder. So people usually don't play this out. You just see that it's in a ladder, and we'll stop there, right? And see that ends up in a white stone. But they always have some potential for shenanigans. I mean, less so here now in this area that this is all captured and super thick. But imagine there was a cut here, and then you do a little thing here. There's like a bunch of stuff you can do. Clearly not here because no one's worrying about it. But I myself would be feeling a little unsettled about these cuts, even though there are ladders. There's just things that happen, and I can't predict them.
Yeah, there's a lot of trickery that I would, in my words, that comes into play at the end of the game that you really try to look for everything, but it can be challenging. It should be called, I love it, One Eye Dragon says it should be called stairs, not ladders, which is fair.
It should be, honestly. They're more like stairs than ladders.
Wait, and Justin, is that a translation? Is that why?
I think the Korean term for it is like a chute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
I'm not familiar with the other
So maybe it's like Japanese or Chinese. Yeah.
I don't know. Indy says, surprisingly, this looks like a very calm game from both players. I came in at last half.
Oh, so there it is.
That was the resignation.
Just threw down.
Yes, just to recap, it was a pretty calm game. There was a turning point of influence, and then after that, it was just an avalanche. Avalanche of white territory. Look at that.
Yes,
and they're starting to do the game.
Yep, so it's over. Fun
we'll
game.
Probably get into the post-game interviews pretty soon.
Yes.
It's been great having you guys here in the chat. Thank you so much for participating
Yeah,
and
thanks
watching the
everyone.
stream.
So we're gonna
Very happy to do this with the other Go podcaster, Travis of the All Things Go podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We will be cutting to the post-game interview shortly. We'll get a little heads up here, but any final words for you, Travis?
No, Justin, again, it was a lot of fun and enjoyable. I think there's a lot about this game that I think newcomers can get into and enjoy. So check out the game wherever you can, online, in person. Check out the podcast. It's always a fun way to get involved with it. And thanks for the time.
Yeah, we were told they would probably review their game afterwards, but no reviewing here. Just I think it was maybe a little too clear cut.
Yeah, a little
Nothing
too
too crazy going on in the game to really go over. I think both players kind of understand how the game went. It's a perfect opening game for newcomers to look in and see what happens in the game. It's not too difficult to understand. And we're being reminded to plug ourselves. So why don't we do that? I am Justin of the Starpoint Podcast. It's a podcast about Go. And Travis is also a fellow podcast host. And you want to introduce your podcast to the folks?
Yeah, we talk about just all sorts of things about Go. It's generally focused around interviews with Go professional players, bloggers, streamers, folks in the community, academics. So definitely check it out anywhere you can find podcasts for either of them. Yeah.
I just popped a link for the Starpoint podcast down in the Twitch chat,
and
you can find it all on the platform. All the platforms on that link.